All right, welcome back, Brew Crew. Unfortunately, today I do not have a guest. It was supposed to be Benji from Benji's Exact Beauties. Unfortunately, he never got back to me when I reached out this week. So I hope everything's all right with him. So this will be a little bit shorter since it's a college football Saturday, and I want to get back to watching football. But um, I'll just give some updates and what's going on here. And as usual, support U.S. ARC. They fight for our rights as reptile keepers. Let's see if I can bring up the thing. There we go. I am also a bronze member. Hey Don, how's it going? Yeah, happy Saturday, and it's a long weekend, so I assume there people will be watching this on the replay. But I really don't have too much planned. A lot of the things people already know, as I posted on Instagram, or I've been on other people's shows. So I had my first clutch of the year. It was an absolute disaster. The pairing was my friend Brad's Ivory male to my Bumblebee Spark. There were 8 eggs, 2 were slugs. A bunch went bad, so I wound up with 3. And then we cut on day 55. The one was already bad and had died in the egg at some point previously. That was, I believe, a yellow belly spider. And then there were 2 alive when we cut. Unfortunately, they were really, really small, and they really didn't have much to absorb the yolk sac. It was all like gross and snot looking. So something obviously went wrong during that process. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out which variables I can control. But unfortunately, we did hit a puma. It lived for a couple days, never made it out of the egg, and we hit it was a pastel yellow belly. But they were really small. I had a bad feeling about that one just looking at the eggs from the get-go. And I was surprised that something was alive, but unfortunately none of them made it. But they will be going to Chris at BNS Reptilia to feed his Mexican black king snakes. So at least, they're off to do something. It stinks, the animal that you were, doing the pairing for, and then to lose it. So then my second clutch, which I was supposed to come on here to cut last week, unfortunately my dog was sick, and it was probably a day early. So I pushed that off. When I cut it, everything was alive. Everything looked great. Unfortunately, 3 of the animals were severely kinked, and that was a super pastel leopard butter to a butter. I did hit a pastel bell that was severely kinked. I also hit, I believe, a pastel leopard butter and a pastel butter. All were it was bad, and it's unfortunate. 2 are out of the egg right now. I have them. I'll show them off in a bit. And it just stinks that you get all excited when you do these pairings, you get these eggs, and then sometimes life just happens. I'm bummed that I hit some animals that I was looking forward to having the pairing. Unfortunately, life didn't work out. So there are 2 that came out of the egg from that pairing. They're both pastels. They're both males. And then 2 more. The one looked like it was going to come out right before when I pulled the tub here, but he still had a bunch of the yolk sac left. So I just think he's moving around. It's moving around. So the other 2 should be out in the next place. They look healthy. There's no kinks, anything there. So that was nice to at least have some of that clutch come out and be viable. They still have to eat and thrive here, but they're out of the egg, or they're starting to come out of the egg. So that is the one bright side that they're were viable eggs. So the first 2 out, I think this was the first one. It's just a pastel. It's a male. I was hoping for a female. I don't believe it's a leopard. It just looks like a nice nice pastel. There's some oranges if you can see them there. But he came out, I think it was on Friday. No, a few days ago, actually. The other one came out yesterday. But I'm happy, that they're alive. They look pretty nice. This one was the second one. You can see it's a little bit bigger. It absorbed more. It's still got a little bit of the dried umbilicus or hang out. So he came out. It doesn't look like he was quite ready, but he'll shut that off in a bit. But yeah, another male. I don't see anything to say that this is leopard. So they all had to be pastel. They do have pretty cool patterns. So hopefully in the next couple days we'll see the other two come out, and then it's on to making sure they get established. They'll all be for sale when they're ready to go. I'll probably have them at the Gettysburg show just to try to move them. Hopefully somebody will take them as a great pet. They're going to be relatively inexpensive since they're just a single gene pastel. And I'd prefer to move them at a show or locally because I don't want to have somebody pay for shipping and you're paying just as much to have an animal shipped to you as the animal that you're buying. Now, if somebody would want to do a wholesale deal, I have a couple other animals. Maybe where shipping would be worth that, I could bundle a bunch together. There's a lot of lower end stuff that I have right now that I need to move out, and there's some. I think I'll have some either proven breeders or the breeder size females that'll be up for sale shortly. But yeah, I didn't want to come on here too long complaining about the two bad clutches that I had. I have to put it behind us and focus on the 4 snakes that did come out or are coming out, and just move forward and start preparing for the upcoming season, where I do have a lot more pairings that I'm going to do, and I'm hoping some of the ones that they either reabsorbed or they didn't go this year, I'm hoping some of them go. Nothing really in recessive that I'm working with. None of those went. There's 2 that are pretty big right now, but they're back on food, so I think they're just gearing up for the fall and winter, and I'll start introducing males again shortly, but we'll see. I'm really looking forward to the ultra pied stuff. Now that I have a ultra male pied proven breeder male, I can put him to my pied girl, and hopefully I'll hit everything will be double het, but hopefully I'll hit some visual pied het ultra males, and I already have some other stuff growing up. So hopefully in the next couple of years, I'll have some animals in those projects. This year I think I did 7 or 8 pairings and only had 2 go. So really, really wasn't too great as far as the ratio to what I paired and to what actually went. 2 go, and I was hoping to hit some pumas and some bells. I did. Unfortunately, it didn't work out with regards to the number of eggs that were there to the amount of actual snakes that were produced. But it's still cool to see those snakes come out of the eggs when they're healthy. It's a gut punch when they're not, and it's just something that happens. It's still cool that 2 years in a row I produced animals here, and at least for the viable clutch, those were animals that I raised up from hatchlings. So it was kind of cool to have that whole process happen. The other ones I had where I had purchased a well-established male. I think my champagne pastel that sired the clutch for me last year was probably like 500 grams when I got him. So he was almost ready to go right then. And shortly there, when I got him, and I figured out I thought I had the female, I put them together and he sired the clutch. And then the male, yeah. So it was just nice to grow the snakes up and then do it rather than just buying proven breeders from somebody else and then doing the pairing. There's nothing wrong with that. I just, for me, I waited 1, 2, 3 years for some of these animals to come up to size, so I can, understand their patterns, and if one will go off of food for whatever reason, it's not a surprise. My male champagne pastel breeder, he'll go off of food during the breeding season. The second one of the females ovulates, he's back on food. And I didn't know that the first year. I found that out this year because he went off of food, and I wasn't pairing him, and I wasn't planning on pairing him to anything because I didn't have anything where he would plug in. But that being said, I'm rambling here, and I don't want to go on too much longer. If you're interested in these pastels, let me know, especially if you're local. Once I get them established, I'll make a good deal. Or if you know somebody that's looking for a pet, still going to be cheaper than Petco. And I'd like to see them go to a good home because chances are they're not going to go to another breeder because everybody hates pastel at the moment. But anyway, I know it's short and sweet today. Next week, it'll be better. I have your second Luke, and I'm about to sign off. Next week should be better where I'll have a guest. I'm looking at my calendar. It is Rusty from Easy Day Morphs. So if you don't know him, he's a guy that you've seen on these podcasts where he's on the donkey. So it should be really cool to have him on. So I'm looking forward to that and sort of getting back into the routine of things. I've had plans, things come up where I've missed being on. And I have to get back into, the swing of things and, for the algorithm's sake, let's say. But I haven't really posted too many videos at all lately or shorts recently. And I was going to do the egg cutting for this clutch that hatched out. But when I went to do it, I filmed it. At least I thought I did. I hit the record button and I must have hit it again. So I don't actually have a video of it, which is kind of embarrassing. But that's one of the things that stinks when you're just by yourself and nobody else is here to film things. So sometimes with something you only have one shot at doing, if you screw it up or your angle's bad or something like that, you really can't fix it. The other clutch cutting was the angle was bad, and we were able to see it, but you go look at it on the camera and it just didn't do it justice. But I'm gonna get back in the swing of it, doing more video, putting out more content, and I'm looking forward to getting back in the swing of this live. And Don will be on here. I think we settled on the first week in October. I'll have to check. I can't see my calendar from here, but yeah. So I have guests booked up pretty much throughout the rest of the month. I will be at a barbecue on the 30th, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. If I'm gonna go live from there or not, or I'll just put something canned in. I think that's what it is. I can't read my calendar from here. Plus, it's I know it's October. But yeah, I've done that too. Or I go to take a picture and it's one of those weird ones that iPhone does where it sort of like captures the moment, so it's like a little video. So I posted stuff on Instagram where you can hear like my dog going on in the background or whatever I was doing at the time. So I need to be a little bit better about that. But all right, I will let you guys go. Those are the updates for me. I've been rambling. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong this year. So you're lucky if you don't experience things like that. But it happens. Sometimes things don't work out, and it's a bummer, especially when you were looking forward to it and you only had 2 clutches. It was a gut punch, but I don't want to dwell on that, and we'll move on to the future. But I think I'm looking. So next week's Rusty from Easy Day, and then I have Ken from LMK the following week, and then it's going to be Joe from Meteoric Serpent. So that's going to be cool because he deals with some different stuff. So that's the rest of the month, and I'll see you guys in the chats. And yeah, have a good one. Enjoy your holiday weekend.